नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं Yes, can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? Yes, please. Anybody? We are into what is the 12th adhyay. We're coming to the most important part of the Gita, if you ask me. Of course, every part is important, but this is, I don't know, for me it's very special because we can learn how to become close to Krishna. If we know how to become close to Krishna, probably everything is solved. So, yes, anybody, can you recollect what is it that we saw last? Yes, Kalpana, you want to say something? Or Binaji, anybody? Yeah, please feel free to proceed.
In this 12th adhyaya of Bhakti Yoga, Krishna has given direction how you can be on that path of Bhakti Yoga.
Ji.
Now, the first thing what he has mentioned is man plus buddhi. Both the things, if you focus on the Parmeshwar or the divine, then you can go close to him and the consciousness can be achieved. But if it is not possible to do both the things constantly by you, then because the man is restless, so then dhyan or the yoga of the his name or the divine can help you reach that state.
Okay.
And if even if that is not feasible, by focusing on or by doing the dhyan, if it is not feasible, then we can do Krishnarpar. That whatever we are doing, actions, we can offer to him as
All
a
our
uh,
position, everything that belongs to us.
yeah, whatever is
Hmm.
ours is his. That is one. And the fourth, even if you cannot do this also, then it is sarva karma phala tyag. We have to, if we can
Oh.
achieve that, that whatever we have achieved, it is because of him. It is that constantly if
No,
we
but
think,
no, that
then
if that also bhav does not come in, but sarva karma phala tyaga means just tyaga of the fruits of the actions, meaning somebody is not able to get
fruits
the
of action.
bhavana of attribution to divine. For some reason, this person says, no, I'm not able to continuously. I have done this. मैंने बढ़िया drawing मैंने ही किया है. कृष्ण ने थोड़ी किया है. If that attitude is there, still, whether or not people call this work good or bad, we are able to give the
Yes.
fruits of action. Yes, ji.
Yeah, these four steps or four different methods he has
Yeah.
asked, he has guided or directed us for
Yeah.
going to the higher consciousness.
Ji. Yes, Kalpana ji.
And he has also said the knowledge is and the meditation is better than what it means
Ignorance. Than being
ignorance.
ignorant. Yeah, better than
Yeah,
ignorance is always knowing. To become receptive for the higher knowledge, we should do dhyana. But again, for
dhyana,
doing one higher than dhyana also is said to be practicing, no? Practicing
practice.
karma,
That
sarva
is
karma
yoga.
phala tyaga. So
Yeah,
is it
correct.
the easiest or is it the foundation? That is the thing we have to look at because many times what is the foundation itself is sometimes if a beginner is very strong in the fundamentals, the beginner can challenge the master also, isn't it? Fundamentals will
Yeah.
not change. So when you are sadhana, if you are a beginner or you are a yoga rudha, somebody who has gone and reached the highest status, still these fundamental principles will not change. So this is one important aspect. Yes, Sri. Yes. All right, Kalpana ji? Fine. Okay. Hari Om. Yes. So this is simple also. If we realize that the fruits are never in our hands, they are not in our control. Thinking about fruits which are going to come to you is as good as thinking of what they call khayali pulao. It's not come to you. It's not going to come. Whatever is going to come is going to come ultimately. Instead, you focus, and that is why sometimes think of the farmer. They are already yogis in a way because they do so much efforts they take. And the yield is dependent on what? Yes, it depends on their efforts, but also on the atmosphere also, whether it is rain, what is happening, what is the weather, what is the climate. It is sometimes after all the efforts are done, just the next to our lab only in the village. Next to that only there is a field of a person who was growing sesame. I had my eye on that field because we wanted sesame seeds. So I would quickly watch. I don't think it was a bad eye because of me that there were rains. But I felt so sad when I found out that such a big field and suddenly all those beautifully grown crops, they fell down. They'd all fallen. Most of it was fallen. It felt so bad looking at, Arey, this man, I've seen him work hard in the sun. He's toiled so much. I went to him and I asked, I'm so sorry. I just expressed my sorrow. Looking at it, I said, Sir, Rena, what is this? It was difficult to watch. He just smiled and said, This is pointing to the sky. This is not in our hand. He told Yerke in Tamil, he said, This is nature. It is not in our hand. Nature is going to decide every time. The way he said that was the samatha of a yogi. And that he is practicing, and that is why he is still in this field. Otherwise, anybody would have left that profession because I'm not getting good results. I'm not getting good returns. But he is doing it. Probably that is why we are all getting food also, isn't it? So many farmers are working hard, striving despite all challenges. So, like that, our actions, if we are not motivated only by the fruits, we become free. And in Bhakti Yoga also, we see the same kernel of Karma Yoga being explained. So, karma this side, bhakti that side, jnana another side. It's not like that. All are very much integrated together only. All have to be practiced. Then Krishna goes on further. He says, if you want to understand what attitude you should have, well, he says, become free of envy, become free of jealousy. Just because your neighbor got a better vehicle, and you feel, oh, that person is good, is not right, he shouldn't have got it. No, that attitude should not be there. Don't be jealous of somebody else's achievements at all. Somebody has something nice, appreciate it. It may not be yours, but you can still appreciate. Can't we appreciate something good? We can appreciate it. That is real, higher nature, what we can say. A spiritual person, an awakened person, or a clear hearted person also can easily understand that. So, that person Krishna is asking you to be. He's asking all of us to become that. Arjuna, he says, be devoid of envy, hold compassion, meaning let your heart beat for everybody, not just for yourself. Friendship for the world, towards the world. Maitri Dharma is possible, isn't it? To the world also. Have you ever heard of anybody or met somebody who has no enemies? Or who looks like this person doesn't create any ripple? This person is less likely to have any enemies. Some other person, you tell his name, you will remember his 10 enemies next to his name only. That is one more swabhava of another person. But there is another person, he's like, he is a friend of this person, he's a friend of that person. Both these people don't see eye to eye. But here he is somehow like Krishna, binding the sutra of even the opposites. Well, that is the Maitri. Look at Krishna. Krishna had relations with everybody, isn't it? He could go everywhere. But he always upheld the truth, no? Or did he compromise with the truth anytime? Never, he never compromised and still maintained. It's like we said no need relationships, that they are a big headache. I don't want the side effect of relationships, everybody says. But look at Krishna. No headache, always smiling. Arjuna says, I'm not going to fight. He has bet everything on Arjuna. That also we see. Prasanniva Bharata, it is said in the Gita, in the very first adhyaya. He's smiling. Acha, Arjuna is now speaking shastras and trying to escape from this battle. I see. Let him speak. Let him. He's quiet. He's calm. He's calm and peaceful at all times. And he could even go, no, as a messenger of as messenger of the Pandavas, going to whom? To his own people. Again, Kauravas are also his own people. So this aspect of Maitri is important. Some of the best diplomats are those who are able to quickly move through, because divine also needs that. Divine wants to manifest harmony or disharmony. It's harmony that is what that is to be manifested. So for that also, we must have that capacity. Where Yuddha is there, Yuddha is only going to take place. No matter what there, Krishna will say, yeah, you are going to be my instrument and I'm going to fight through you. Don't worry. That's not the aspect. But not having that strong Bheda inside, tolerant and poised in both comfort and hardship. Sometimes we get hard situations, difficult situations, things don't go our way. What happens then? We lose our balance, isn't it? We get frustrated, we get irritated, we have headaches, we kind of suddenly feel anxiety attacks, palpitation increases. This person spoke like this. Why did he speak like this? He shouldn't have spoken like this. Can we control anybody? We are going on the road and a dog starts barking. Do we ask, "Oh, why did that dog bark?" A dog is going to bark. No. Will it say meow? No. Dog is going to do the dharma of the dog. So some way who is going to do wrong is going to continue doing that. Why should that affect your inner peace? It's all right. It's all right. You can at least choose to not get startled by the barking of the dog. No, that much we can do or not. Say our neighbor has a dog. Every day I say a nice prayer. I go shant and with good shanti. I put my foot out. First thing that dog does is starts barking. Not just ordinary big dog, German Shepherd, barking very loudly. So what happens? I get startled. I lose my inner peace. Is it required that every day you have to lose inner peace? The moment dog barks. That is like what we call conditioned reflex, no? Anybody knows of conditioned reflex? One scientist called Pavlov. He had
Pavlov.
Pavlov's conditioned reflex. What is that, Vinitaji?
Every time the bell rang, they used to start
They used to feed
salivating
a
because
dog,
they
yeah. Yes, it is an experiment. It is a scientific experiment where it was done on a dog. It was the other way around. Here, dog is in the story, dog is doing on human. But in the Pavlov's experiment, what this scientist does is he teaches that dog. Like every time the dog is hungry, he would first ring the bell and then food would be given. Every time ring bell would be rung and then food would be given. So that created what we call sanskara. That sanskar became very rigid, so strong that every time he rang the bell, the dog would start salivating, whether or not the food came or that was the connection. So like that in life, we are also conditioned so many times, which is why we suddenly have these anxiety attacks, we have this palpitation. That is why we must do sadhana to undo these sanskaras. Means some are good sanskaras. We say pache sanskar, parents are going to give good sanskar. That is true. But in sadhana, we recognize some sanskaras which are to be unlearned. We will have to overcome those. So that is what Krishna talks about in what we can say comfort also. Being balanced in comfort is fine. But in hardship also, in difficult moments also, unfavorable moments also, if you can keep that balance, it's a challenge, huh? It's not so easy. It's easier said than done. But if we can practice it, our life will only be free. And that's what Krishna wants ultimately, isn't it? He wants us to experience our life to the full potential. What we call Ananda. Ananda of what? Ananda of his Leela. Not getting trapped in his Maya. In his Maya, there is anxiety, there is all frustration, there is trouble. But in Leela, you can watch his game, you can watch his dance, you can dance with him also. So, what would we prefer? I think always Leela is better than Maya, no? So, let us continue. Krishna says, bereft of ego and the feeling of ownership. The ahankar that I am the doer, I have done so much, I run this home, I am responsible for everything in this universe. I am responsible for crash in stock market also. I am responsible for earthquake. I am responsible for some dictator rising in another country also. Everything people have this tendency of unnecessarily taking credit. This is simply when you recognize Naham Karta. You might have done the biggest work worthy of a Nobel Prize. You might be getting the Nobel Prize also, but still, Naham Karta, Harihi Karta. I am not the doer. This work was done through me by the divine. That will save you. That will save you from Ahankar inside. Because Ahankar will again create a different set of. Sometimes people get Ahankar after achieving also, no? And then that brings about the fall. That makes everybody question the very achievement itself afterwards. So this is what Krishna says, Ahankar, and free from that feeling of ownership. Now comes the beautiful
And
set.
then one question,
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
what about the evil things that are done?
About the evil things. What about them, Ji? In relation to?
मतलब जनरली लाइक वी से ना कि अगर हमने अच्छा करा नोबेल
Hmm.
प्राइज भी मिल जाएगा तो कर्ता इज कृष्णा ओनली डिवाइन.
हाँ.
तो
हाँ.
फिर उनका जवाब
Okay.
कहाँ है? बिकॉज आई हैव
Yeah,
आस्क्ड दिस क्वेश्चन टू सो मेनी पीपल, दे से
there
कि
was a movie. There was a
कोई
movie
जवाब ही नहीं
also.
है.
There was a movie also. This person, I think it was by famous. We don't take names, but one very famous actor of yesteryears, even today, is a very good character actor. He goes on a murder spree, and then he says, किताब में लिखा है कोई किसी को मारता नहीं. नैनम चिन्नति शस्त्राणि is the indirect reference because everybody likes to use reference to only Hindu and Sanatan texts. Nobody dares to make a reference to any others. But he says that. So what do you wish to say about those who are doing evil? That means Krishna is doing the evil. But isn't it, Anjuji? That is what your question is, isn't it?
हाँ मतलब अगर हम ये सेम एनालॉजी लगाते हैं तो फिर देन
हाँ.
व्हाट?
हाँ. तो then what?
देन
तो
वी
आप
कांट
ये
से दैट
evil.
कृष्णा इज डूइंग द रॉन्ग थिंग्स. कृष्णा कांट डू. तो फिर वो कौन
Okay.
कर रहा
So then what would
है? आर
you
कर्मास.
recommend? So
देन वी
what would you recommend?
देन वी ब्लेम के हमारे कोई कर्मास थे या जो विक्टिम है उसके कोई कर्मास थे. तो दीज थिंग्स आर एक्चुअली complicating. I
No,
have read
what would
Gita
you
earlier
recommend?
also.
But didn't you read in the Gita that Krishna
Hmm.
said that my consciousness is present in everyone, but my
Hmm.
consciousness surface is not in everyone? When Arjuna
Hmm.
asked in the very beginning, why do people sin? No, that was very much in the second or third adhyaya, I think. And Krishna says, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajo Guna Samudbhavam. These are the Nitya Vairis. So in Prakriti, we have a choice. We are not robots, no? Like a
मतलब वो
programming to.
हायर कॉन्शियसनेस जिसमें नहीं आई तो वो द
Ah,
पीपल
yes,
आर
yes.
जस्ट
Shri
रोटेटिंग
Aurobindo,
इन द
yes,
लोअर
yeah.
वर्ल्ड्स.
Lower worlds where the divine is present,
या
inherent, but not surfacing. If you see
बट
Shri
दे आर
Aurobindo
नॉट एबल टू टैप
beautifully,
दैट एनर्जी.
yes, they're not able to. Shri Aurobindo beautifully explained in his Vasudevam Sarvamiti, means this realization of recognition of divine, he saw even in the what we call you called evil just now. No, in the evil also he saw the Vasudeva, and it is beautifully experienced, written in his Alipur jail's experience, which he talked later in a speech. So he used a beautiful word. He said, "In the misused bodies too, I saw you, Vasudeva." Meaning, all were not freedom fighters. All were not exalted revolutionaries. They were petty swindlers. There were other criminals also in the same jail. And here was the divine Sri Aurobindo in a 6 by 9 feet prison. On the surface, it looks crazy, but that was his pilgrimage. For him, that was the place he got a sakshatkar, that was the place he got the realization. So, in a same place, somebody gets the highest realization in solitary confinement, somebody else goes into depression. Meaning, this is what Krishna talked about the beauty of our manifestation. He says it is a paradox. In Rajavidya also, he said, what a beautiful see, my consciousness is present in everybody. It's in you, it's in me, but it's not surfacing. Why is it not surfacing? Because that is the Manavi aspect, no? Prakriti. We will see more about Prakriti's role and everything. But we have that choice. We have the choice to walk on the higher path, or we have the choice to say, ah, Bel, mujhe maar. Is the choice in human hand. If choice was not there, then we are just a part of we are a programming code, only nothing. Because that is the beauty of humanity. We have the choice. We have the choice to become a part of the disease, or we have the choice to become a part of the cure. Raviji wants to add something. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know, how far it is correct. Said that the 30% is your karmas, 70% is the free will, yeah, 60%, whatever, and
Hmm.
10% is the grace which is available to everyone.
Okay.
And if a person wants to exercise that free will very properly, he
Mm-hmm.
can do whatever, as you said, everything can surface and he can
Okay.
raise himself.
All right. Ji, sir. If you see, that is probably Chitragupt will be the perfect statistician to give that percentages wise, but the Bhava Artha is right. Means there is something. In the 18th Adhyay, we have talked about the role of fate and free will also. Means what is the prarabdha, what is the purva janma sukrut, how much freedom we have, how much can we alter, how much we cannot. But it will come in the 18th Adhyay. But I think sir has
Okay.
given a nice quote.
So
Yes,
it's
sir.
70% and 30% is free will, not
Adhyay.
he has interchanged.
No, but whoever is interchanged or not interchanged, because calculation of percentage also we need to have a methodology to exactly measure it. So this could be what we can say. Some saints may have given this division for us to understand more than the actual statistical percentage. It is yes, we have something called free will also. So Krishna has told no, no, the Naradhamas are there. I send them into those worst streams. They will then they bear the consequences. We may not see that in the surface. First question of Arjuna was this only to Krishna. You're saying Atma is there inside, there is divine in everybody. Well, why is it people are sinning? How can I listen to anything that you say, Krishna? मेरी भगवत गीता अभी मत बताना मुझे. First answer this question is what Arjuna asked that time clearly. Kamesha, Krodhesha, Rajoguna Samatva. In one moment, wisest of wise people in moment of Kama, wisest of wise person in moment of Krodha, they lose all of it. Then you cannot say, no, no, he is such a wise person, but when he gets angry, he becomes like something. No, he's gone. He's receptive to the lower forces. That means he is receptive to Asuric nature. Are you going to become a victim of the Asura, or you are going to stand up like one Deva or a Mahishasuramardini? Or you are going to become victim? No, 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 that is not how you have to be, just because the anger is there. Otherwise, this person is very nice. We tell that to some about so many people, no? No, 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 this person, he is very good or she is very good. Only when that person gets angry, that person is bad. What is this? This is not. It is a part of one person's svabhava. One must learn and rise. So anyway, let us get into the next state of the next part, next set of shlokas. Krishna says, Santushtaha satatam yogi yatatma dhruda nishchayah mai arpita mano buddhir yo mad bhaktaha same priyaha. So the yogi is santushta. When is he happy? When he gets what he wants, and even when he gets what he does not want. Both times, at all times, there is no time that the yogi is not happy. And Mad Bhakta Same Priya. These are the shlokas where Krishna says, these yogis are dear to me. Why? Despite the influence of Prakriti, despite the force of Maya working, they have been able to penetrate this Maya. They have been able to penetrate all of these bandhanas and reach me. Krishna says, isn't it? Maya metam tarantite. Only those who are able to penetrate the Maya can reach me. So here he says, these people are not separated in consciousness, even in these moments. And they are always santushta. The soul who remains ever in a contented happiness, always happy, always practicing yoga with a steady firmness, meaning there is a dhruti or a determination to practice the yoga. It requires determination, isn't it? In the face of opposites, in the face of contrasts, how can I remain calm? Is a natural question. But no, this yogi has determination. So he's always there. And the most important reason why he has done it is he has surrendered his mana and buddhi, mind and intellect. Mind is logical, isn't it? So logical questions keep coming from the mind. But intellect is said to be higher than mind. Then we get attached to a higher logic. Something that is also one cage. Like you have an emotional cage, you have a mental cage, then there's an intellectual cage also. So this person has surrendered his mind and buddhi, meaning no dvandvas. The inner fights have suddenly disappeared. It does not mean all questions are answered, but the questions are not causing a flustering of consciousness, or that person in the inside is remaining quiet. Sometimes, okay, this question has not been answered. The time will come. I have faith, I have shraddha that this will be answered. Why did it happen? I used to ask many times, Krishna, why did I fall flat on my face? I don't know. Now I don't like it because I fell flat on my face. But later on, I really, after some 7 years, 8 years, I could actually find, acha hua, I fell flat on my face, so I didn't do this stupid thing. Otherwise, something else would have happened. So later on, I could understand it because there is something called paristhiti, there is desha, there is kala. All three sometimes are required to answer our questions. So the kala has not come, your answer question will remain a question till that time comes. When the kala is come, then that question will automatically answer. The question will only have the answer to you for you. So here, santushtaha, satatam yogi, the yogi who is forever happy. That is me. That means Krishna likes happy bhaktas, not who are always mama crying all the time. Krishna, this has not happened. That has not happened. When will this dream get over? That person is smiling, smiling. It's all right. Krishna Ichha, Krishna Prasad, as the late Sushma Swaraj ji had beautifully told about overcoming. Things happen according to my wish. It's a prasad directly from Krishna, so I enjoy it. If things happen against my wish, again, Krishna Ichha, Krishna's mind and is something higher. It is Krishna's consciousness, which is higher than my consciousness. So Krishna knows what is needed for me, the set of experiences. So the person is always in a state of bliss. There was one person who was always, what we can say, Mr. Brightside, always happy, always smiling, always seeing the positive. That was very good. A lot of people liked it. But there was one person who was jealous of that. But okay, nonsense. Every time this person is smiling, every time he's becoming happy, I'm getting sick of this. So then what happens is in that person's life, there is an accident. He loses a leg in that accident. It has to be amputated. Now he's in the hospital, lying on the bed. Now this jealous person comes. Now let us see how is he going to smile. One leg is gone now. He's very surprised that that person is again greeting him with a smile. And he says, oh, everything is good by God's grace. He says, what do you mean by everything is good? You have lost one leg now. What is the positive you can see in this? Is there anything positive? Your leg has been removed. What can you see here? What positive? Tell me one positive thing. He says, I have to wear one shoe less now. That's all. He was blown away by this answer. Oh my God, look at this person. He's able to see. This is gratitude actually. When somebody has gratitude, no, kritagnyata, smallest of small things also appears so much. What you have, and you're able to stay in that poise, even in difficult moments, because that is important, keeping that balance. So Krishna says, number one, first, probably this is why it's very important. He wants all his devotees to be blissful, what we can say in a state of ananda, and also balanced in all moments, surrendered. So Krishna is saying, such a person, Mai Arpita Mano Buddhi, the mind and buddhi have become one and surrendered to the divine. Surrendering to the mind, surrendering the mind, surrendering buddhi is very much different from surrendering common sense, isn't it? That is not us. Common sense should remain with us. Sri Aurobindo had to write a letter. He had written to the sadhaks. I have asked them to surrender their mind and intellect, not their common sense, because a lot of people in the name of surrender are doing silly things. Common sense will remain with us, but mind, buddhi, that is not something we should always get trapped in it. Krishna goes on further. Next, he says, Yasmano dvijate loko, lokano dvijate cha yaha, harsha marsha bhayodvegair, mukto yaha sacha me priyaha. Krishna says, he who by the world's chaos remains unperturbed, nor can the world by him be in any way disturbed. From pleasure, anger, fear, and anxiety, he is free. Such a soul is dear to me. So, who is dear? Krishna is saying somebody who is not getting disturbed by the chaos in the world. In the world, a chaos may be taking place, but still, this person is able to remain calm on the inside. Any example for this? I think everybody can give an example because we just went through a pandemic, isn't it? Chaos was there on the outside, and we didn't have any other option but to remain inside, calm, peaceful, try to find happiness. Well, it's possible, definitely. Even if there's a storm on the outside, we can become quiet on the inside. It's very much possible. But we don't have to be forced to do it like nature forced us in, in the pandemic. We can do it and by our free will as well. So that is one. And nor can the world by him be in any way disturbed. Meaning this person doesn't cause a disturbance in consciousness of the world also. This person is not creating new sanskaras, not creating new ripples. That is something. I think we all have this experience, isn't it? Sometimes a relative comes home, कि क्या कौन आया तूफान ही आ गया है घर में, ऐसी फीलिंग आ गया है, suddenly all the calm quietude everything is gone because the storm only has come. And then sometimes a sea of peace also comes when some people come. It is the consciousness of the person, isn't it? There's a very senior sadhak in the ashram. His name is Shraddhalu Ranade. His relation with his guru, MP Pandit, was something very beautiful. When he was young, he would walk into the room and he would walk in such a way that his walking would not cause a disturbance in his consciousness of his guru who is sitting with a pen and paper. He said, his guru must be receiving some thoughts. I don't want to create a disturbance. That is conscious. That is becoming aware. That is walking around. Sometimes we talk with people and we don't even know when did this friend leave also because the person is so silent, so calm. We don't realize when people come and people go. That is how they are carrying themselves. But then there are some who just announce their presence every time, at every moment. The thought has to be shared. Everything I think, but did anybody ask you? No, but still, that is a different set of consciousness. So Krishna says, somebody, even if there is chaos on the outside, is calm and peaceful. This person is not causing chaos outside also. Whenever this person travels, he is not disturbing the world. Then, from pleasure, anger, fear, and anxiety, he is free. Now, Ananda is different from pleasure. Ananda is different. Pleasure is connected with karma, and pleasure is connected with what we call lower attachment. Many times, what happens? I like sweets, so I'm going to overeat. But relatives will say, your sugar levels are going to 300. It's okay, I'll take one more injection. Now, this is going to create trouble only, isn't it? This is against Sharira Dharma also. So, is your attachment for the taste so much that you are going to because you feel your tongue should get that pleasure, you are now going to trouble yourself so much? So that is something you should become conscious of. So when you're conscious, you're free from that. Anger also. Somebody who is a Jitendra, can that person get angry just like that? No. The person is able to remain calm. Somebody comes and says, you are a fool. Acha, okay. Yes. What do you want from this fool then? The bigger fool will want something from a fool then. But let him ask, let him get. What is it? Well, you're not getting disturbed, you're not getting angry. It is important. Means sometimes people say you should get angry. No, you don't have to get angry. Even to uphold justice, do you have to get angry to uphold justice? Without anger also, it is your dharma, it is your duty. Nobody needs to tell you about it. You will rise in consciousness to stand for dharma. But not fueled by anger because krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammohat smriti vibhrama. Smriti भ्रंशात buddhinasham buddhinashat tarishyati. There's a cycle. Anger starts taking control of you. You lose your memory, you lose your skill, you lose your intellect, you lose your wisdom. And a person who loses the wisdom is destroyed eventually. So that is why anger is a problem. So he's free from anger, he's also free from fear. Sadhak is not afraid. Everybody has some fear or the other, isn't it? Each of us have some worst fear. This is my biggest fear. That fear also is there because probably we have not surrendered. Some part of us has not surrendered to Krishna. Maybe we have surrendered or we have started to surrender. But still, I'm having anxiety. I'm having fear. Fear and anxiety come together only, no? The situation is out of my control. Most of the time, people get anxious or worried or disturbed when things go out of their control. If they just take one step back and try to really understand how many things are there in their control, they'll actually give a big laugh. Because there are so many things in the world that are not in the control. Parents think they are having control over their children. Just install a hidden camera, go out of the house. Next, you will see the same quiet, obedient children. Immediately, they are going to do the opposite of what you have asked them to do. Because each person is different. You cannot only probably people say you can control robots. But nowadays, robots also, we know they have bugs, they get virus, they also can go out of control sometimes. So, this aspect of controlling things, controlling people, controlling atmospheres is not really going to work too long. You're going to be fighting quixotic battles if you are trying to. And instead of that, embrace the unknown without fear, with the confidence. So the divine will take you, divine will provide you, will give you the knowledge, will give you the wisdom, will give you the direction, will give you the strength. You have that. Difficult situations will not cause fear and anxiety to come inside of you. You'll be ready to face that. Because great legends also, how did they achieve it? Because they could throw their fear away, they could do legendary things. Look at Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He should be having anxiety attacks, isn't it? He is dreaming of Swarajya, and look at Aurangzeb, look at the brute physical strength of Aurangzeb. What is a young boy going to do anything in the face of this strength? Materially, it is so strong. But look at that, Jai Bhavani. Then people started calling Jai Shivaji after Jai Bhavani because he became one with Mate. So how is this possible? Well, throw your fear out, throw your anxiety out, and people will no more be able to control you. Many times we are timid because of that only. Our fears and anxieties, they make us vulnerable. So Krishna says, dear devotee, if you want to become dear devotee of Krishna, you'll have to throw these out. That much at least, if not for yourself. Do it for Krishna. For Krishna's sake. Become free of fear. Become free of anxiety. Anger will not trouble you. Pleasure will not carry you away as long as you hold on to Krishna. It's actually quite simple, but easier said than done. Let us continue. Anapeksha Shuchir Daksha Udasino Gatavyatah Sarvarambha Parityagi Yo Madbhakta Same Priyaha. Expecting nothing, absolutely nothing. He is pure and perfect in every action. Without any expectation, doing your action as a duty, doing your every karma. What is karma? Anybody? Which karma is Krishna talking about? Talking about doing it consciously, isn't it? Yes, see.
Duties, sir.
Duties, isn't it? So, yes, and if you can make every karma your duty, yad yad karma karomi tadakhilam shambho tavaradhanam. If you do conscious breathing, that becomes pranayama, no? You're controlling the breath, inhaling, exhaling. Why? This is your prana upasana. This is also an offering. Your shravana, shruti at all times you're listening. Listening to Krishna's words. He'll come and tell you, he'll tell you from your enemy also. They will find no enemy at all after that. Because Krishna is speaking through that person also. He's no more your enemy. He is the best oracle for you. Krishna's words are coming out from that person's mouth. Maybe in a different style, which you are not aware of, or you don't like it. But you can receive from there as well. So at all times, Krishna is saying, expecting nothing, is pure and perfect in every action, and is free from the pains of worry and agitation. You will not have this agitation, you will not have worries. What happens in life? People behave no unexpectedly. Then it causes disturbance. Sometimes people break, sometimes people lose their confidence. Most brilliant people also, meaning they are the best, better than anybody. But because of unexpected corner, you too Brutus moment comes in their life. You talk like this. You are supposed to not do this. You have done this, and it suddenly makes them vulnerable. It suddenly makes them weak. It makes them forget everything about themselves, whatever strength they have, because expectations. But is it possible to have zero expectation and live and still go ahead in life? Anybody? Without expectation? In fights, we say, I have no expectations from you anymore. and you expect that person to listen to you even that time. But then that person
I
does
think
not.
it's
Yes, yes.
aspiration and expectation.
Ji sir. Aspiration is not wrong, no?
Not wrong. You can still
But
aspire, try to do your best, put your 100% without bothering for the result.
yes,
If it comes, wonderful.
yes, yes, yes. So aspiration is fine. You can hold on to aspiration. Why not? Aspire to become better. But expectation becomes a problem. And if you become free from it, then only you are going to be free of worry. One example I can think of is about my Guruji only. In a factory, he trained one student from the ashram. He taught him from scratch. That person worked with him for over 10 years, and he was very close, and like a son only he had treated him completely. More than his father, this boy looked up to Guruji only as a father. And some of the senior ashramites would joke, Ram Lakhan ki jodi, they would say, together, both of them. But suddenly one day he came and he said, I am leaving. I am quitting. Damleji was a little surprised because 10 years and somebody was with somebody, such a big life, such a big span, no? But it really made a difference. It actually, everybody else got shocked more than Damleji. Means there was one senior Sadhika, she's no more, of course. Kusum, it was raining, she got an auto to come and meet him personally, asking, how are you dealing with it? How is everything? How is what is going to happen to the work? He was very quiet. And one very senior sadhak from the society, he asked him a question. It was some very elderly person who was the head. He asked him a question. He said, how are you dealing with this? What will you do now? Your manager, he has left you. Nami just answered in one line. He said, भगवान ने बिन मांगे दिया, बिन बताए ले लिया. Means without asking he gave, without telling he took away. Immediately he also appreciated, Amliji, your way of thinking. This is really very nice. This is how we should have in the head and how we should approach. But this is the attitude, isn't it? It's like suddenly cool breeze comes on a summer day. We enjoy it, no, when it comes. Then it will stop coming. Go hard. It's a summer day, so it will be hot only. Something like that. So this important aspect, Krishna says, a dearest devotee is this person who is able to have no expectation. Such a soul, he is free from anger, fear, anxiety, worry, agitation, everything. Such a person is, Krishna says, such a me priyaha. He is dear to me. Let's continue. So, expecting nothing, he is pure and perfect in every action and is free from the pains of worry and agitation. For every work begun, the ownership he forgoes. To me, such a devotee is dear and close. The ownership, I did this work. Some people have the habit, I did this, I did this. They come and tell it 10 times also. It's still you're like, okay, okay, fine. No, 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 I did it. I underlined, I did this work. I put a full stop. Everything what they do is important. But there are some great people, they do big works. नहीं नहीं मैंने कुछ नहीं किया. जो भी किया भगवान ने किया और ईश्वर उसने अच्छा काम किया. Somebody else. Why is that? Well, that ownership, they are forsaking it. Means there was one great Kavi, he was donating some dravyas. So people were coming to receive from him. But while he was donating, his eyes were down. Somebody observed it, another Kavi. So he sent a poem only asking, what is it? Your eyes should be up, your head should be held high. You are donating, you are doing a punya karya. Why are your eyes down? That time he replied, देने वाला कोई और है, भेजे तो जो दिन रैन, लोग भरम हम पर करे, ताको नीचे नैन. The giver is somebody else. I am in this position of giving because of grace. And everybody, instead of praising the grace, they are looking at me and offering praise to me. That is why my eyes are down with humility, because I don't take this. It is not mine. Naham karta, harihi karta. Exactly, this is it. So this ownership also, if you are able to forsake, offer it to the divine. Later on, we'll see in the Gita what is called dana. What is the right way of doing dana? It is also, there is sometimes a wrong way and right way also. Wrong way you do dana, you will lose all the good of the dana. It has to be done, that also has to be done in the right state. So different things are there. But here, Krishna says, dearest devotee, such a person is close. Yo na rishyati, na dveshti, na shochati, na kankshati, shubha shubha parityagi, bhaktimanya same priyaha. He neither rejoices nor rejects, neither grieves over nor desires material objects. Not rejoicing. What's wrong? Why is Krishna coming in our happy moments? Why is he trying to take away our happy moments, asking us not to rejoice? Hey, I have to celebrate. मुझे पार्टी करनी है तो कृष्ण को क्या प्रॉब्लम है? Yes, anybody. What is the point of not rejoicing?
All emotions, you should see it with samabhava. Don't get carried
Samabhav.
away with.
Don't get carried away, isn't it? So many just Olympics got over, and we have seen, isn't it? Olympic athletes already celebrating. Yes, 4 years of efforts are going to give me gold medal before crossing the finish line, before completing the karma. And what happens by then? Somebody overtakes them. And in that one moment where Vivek Buddhi went for vacation, this person's 4 years of sadhana, or sometimes 10 years, 15 years, or sometimes that chance never comes again. That moment does not come again. They lost it in one moment of unnecessary overexcitement. Or on birthdays, babies are all jumping around. Hey, my favorite cake, favorite flavor is there. And what happens then? In that laughter and excitement, the hand hits the cake, and the cake falls down. And then this big smiley turns upside down, and there's a big crying sound which comes out. What has happened? In one moment of uncontained emotions, they're spoiling everything. That is what Krishna is asking us, not getting carried away, not rejoicing, nor rejecting also something which is not. Sometimes we have extreme dvesh over something. I don't like this. I hate this. Can we hate anything? Can an instrument of Krishna hate anything? Because dear ones are the instruments. Krishna told in the Vishwarupa Darshana also. Arjuna is not supposed to hate Duryodhana and still fight the battle, and he is supposed to penetrate the heart of Duryodhana. His arrows are supposed to, strike the heart of Duryodhana, that is, end Duryodhana's life, yet without hatred in the heart. So this is something which Krishna is saying, neither rejecting nor rejoicing, neither grieving nor desiring material objects. Grieving over that is lost, that is also not required. Or, oh no, I need to get one more. Sometimes people have this fancy for collecting shoes. You go and see, they'll have a full, so many set as if they can start a shop only, that many shoes. How many are they going to wear? And then they take so much efforts to choose which to wear, and then suddenly after wearing somebody else's, what is this? How dare that person comment on my fashion sense? Well, these are all unnecessary material attachments we get trapped in. Krishna is saying neither grieving nor desiring over the objects, to whom both the auspicious and inauspicious are the same. That devotee, as dear to me, I acclaim Shubha Shubha Parityagi. Shubha and Ashubha, that also has been transcended by that person. Is there any kala which is not the kala of the divine? Can we say, oh, Krishna, you cannot function now? Panchanga is saying this is this Mahadasha going on, and especially right now, Rahu Kal. No, 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 Krishna, you can't manifest right now. What? You are going to take Kalki avatar? No, wait. There's still time has to come. One more Mahadasha will start. Then only you can. Can we tell that to the divine? No, we cannot, because divine is beyond this. Na punyam, na papam, na saukhyam, na dukkham, na mantro, na tirtham, na veda, na yajnam, chidananda rupa, shivoham, Adi Shankaracharya. Beautifully, at a young age, he understood what? He and Shiva are one. He is auspicious beyond what is punya and papa. How many of us think we are auspicious? Anybody? How many of us? Nobody is raising their hands. Can we not raise our hands at least? Vachane ka daridrata. Why do we have to, in the words at least? We are all, each of us, inside of us is our Krishna, is our Aradhya, is our divine. How can anybody dare to call us inauspicious? Who is there? Who is there in this world who can even dare to say that? No, we must recognize that. We must find out. We must cross, because otherwise we get trapped in this. Kamleji saw my horoscope and told me this is a good year for you. I was so happy about it. क्या बात है, बढ़िया. And that was the year I started writing this Gita also. It went very much ahead. This was 2013, 14, that period. Maybe a little bit around that time only. I think 13 end or something like that. But when that year got over, he just smiled at me one day and next year, and he told me, ki, now today that period is crossed. He was watching carefully, but to me, he had told it was auspicious. He said, now this period is over. I said, but you had told me it was good, it was auspicious. He said, no, if I had told you it was inauspicious, you would have already, your mind is very unsteady, you would have got more frustrated, you would have done something more silly in it. Instead, I thought, forget it, you don't have to have that fear. And I went through the entire, he said, your horoscope says this is the day, even your chappals and shoes you have to sell and come on the road. That type of situation comes in the life of such a person. That is the astrological position right now. But for me, I was in the graha of my guru. I was under his chhatra and shade, because of which I didn't feel it, no, that time. And but after my Guruji told, I looked back and, oh right, this thing could have happened. That accident also happened. This also happened, but it could have been so worse. It could have been so horrible. Meaning, the divines, their grahas are there doing their work. Sometimes, what is there? Who says it is all superstition? It is not only superstition. You can identify a day as auspicious or not just by looking at the traffic that day. Yes or no? Yes or no? You can see, no? Sometimes if you are conscious, you can see that today's traffic is a little bit quite rough and violent. I'm walking around, I'm seeing too many hurdles, I'm getting trapped in red signal all the time. Normally you see it, isn't it? You identify, कि चलो ठीक है. So there are factors at play which sometimes aid, sometimes don't aid also. But there is some factor, some force which is said to be higher than the grahas. If the grahas have their role, they are going to have their powerful influences. True, they are having the influences. They will have the influence. But there is somebody sitting higher, so high that he can play like marbles, no? He can play with those grahas and move them around for you. That is Kripa. They say Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim. When? Yat Kripa tamaham vande paramananda madhava. Meaning that is the force of consciousness. Dhamleji says auspicious time for doing divine work is now. That is the most auspicious time. Maybe consult, ठीक है. If you have the knowledge, if you know something about the or what hora is good, what is the auspicious moment, chalo, ठीक है. Look at it. Try to get the aid, but you cannot delay the divine work just because of your. If what is the divine wish, if you align, that is always beyond the auspicious and inauspicious. Like for instance, many say breaking of glass is inauspicious, isn't it? It is considered wrong. But I went to a Gurukul and the Guru Mata in that Gurukul said that is a sign of Lakshmi Prasanna. I was so surprised because very orthodox Gurukul, right from they looked at me and I was wearing pant, which was not good. I can't enter the kitchen. So I had to wear veshti, then I could enter the kitchen. So it was a very orthodox place, but still this was a beautiful interpretation that Ma Lakshmi is Prasanna, that is why glass is broken. Because that mother didn't want that person who broke the glass to feel too disturbed. Now that is the Mauli, no? That is the mother who is having the feeling of taking care. And if it is a divine wish, anything can manifest at any time. All these astrological charts, they can be just thrown away also if it is a divine wish. So our job is not to belittle any Shastra. Never should we do that. But our task is to surrender to the divine who is sitting in the highest state of consciousness, who is there, who is governing, creating the ground. Sometimes, small things will happen which will protect you from the biggest difficulty. In Karma Yoga also it is told, no? Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Greatest danger also can be avoided by the smallest thing. Well, then you'll have to do Karma Yoga, no? You can't say, I'll not do Karma Yoga, but I will want this. Many people feel that. They don't worship the divine. They don't worship any of these grahas also. But they feel, I'll pour this particular oil on this particular graha. I've pulled that graha, so the graha will not have influence on me. That's not going to happen. Or I'll call upon this devata, so he will go and fight with the other graha. And what are we going to do? We are going to watch with popcorn as an intergalactic wrestling competition is happening between grahas and devas. No, these are all unnecessary aspects. So Krishna says the yogi has transcended what is auspicious, inauspicious. Shmashan is considered auspicious or inauspicious? Anybody?
I think it
Yes?
depends on perspective because, for example, some Naga sadhus they go and sit in ashrams, though we will avoid it. So
We'll avoid it because we are afraid. No.
yeah,
We
so it
feel
depends on
death,
perspective.
death, death is, but Shiva is said to be there only, no? And Shiva means auspicious. But Daksha felt he was inauspicious also, isn't it? So this is the matter of perspective, as Johiji says, and from the higher perspective, we should understand what is needed or what is not needed. That is important, and the bhakta can transcend what is auspicious and inauspicious, because all of these aspects give us indications, but the highest realization can come when you connect with that consciousness. So this is devotee who is free, who is neither rejoicing nor rejecting, neither grieving nor desiring. Then he goes on further. He says, yes, just three more shlokas. We'll complete today the chapter also. Yeah. Samaha shatrau cha mitre cha tatha mana apamanayoho शीतोष्ण सुख दुखेषु समः संग विवर्जितः. Friends and foes. So this is another dear bhakta. Friends and foes he treats as one. Is it possible treating our friends and foes as one? How can we look at it? Can we look with this samata, friends as well as foes?
It
Yes,
might be
Joy.
feasible if we are not attached with the person or with anyone.
Beautifully said, Joyji has said. If you are not attached, otherwise everything your friend says, friend, the sun rises in the west only. My friend told. So what my friend says is my friend's. I am attached to my friend, so everything is correct. There was one friend of attachment is a problem. It sometimes completely overcomes our Vivek Buddhi also. It is like until that attachment is there, you are not going to understand the truth at all. So that is why you have to see balance. Sometimes your friend is doing wrong. You must have that much detachment to tell the truth. Not be worried, ki, oh, what if my friend stops talking to me because I told something which is inconvenient. Inconvenient truths also have to be shared if it is called, no, if you are asked, if it is your duty, if it is your dharma. Otherwise, there are 100,000 inconvenient truths which you already know. We don't go about proclaiming every day, every moment. But when it comes as a duty, we should not get attached. Duryodhana did not know, but Dhritarashtra knew, no, what was right and wrong. But look at what happened to his attachment. He said, Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva. He is so attached that he is not able to see all are his Mamakaha only. There is no separate Pandava who is different from his own people. But that Bhed has come in. So many times this is important. And what about foes? Well, foes also will teach us. Of course, they will not teach willingly, but if you are ready, if you are receptive, you can learn. Many times I have experienced that from sources of resistance, sources of rejection have actually helped manifest something better. At that moment, you don't realize it, but you can at least understand. Say you don't like somebody and that person stands on a road, what will happen then? You will not take that road, no? So who knows if Krishna has planted him there at that particular time, so you can go. If you are connected with Krishna, that will become your blessing. Otherwise, how dare you stand in this place? You, my enemy, why are you present here? New Mahabharat will start when you're already fighting enough Mahabharats in life. We start extra subscription of a new episode. Not required at all. So here, friends and foes, treat them as one, is what Krishna is saying. In honor or dishonor, nothing is lost nor won. This is also sometimes we get very attached to this also. How are people perceiving me? Sometimes people are so obsessed with how people perceive them that while they're talking, they're still looking at other people, how they are looking at me or how is their appearance there. I remember speaking to one particular person very close to me. He had this bad habit. He would suddenly start advising, and when he's advising, his eyes would dart around searching for who is looking at him and how he is appearing while he's advising. So neither here also, neither there also. Because we're all connected like too much attached. Everybody has to do salute to me, and then that person is retired from work. So now people stop saluting. It's like, oh no, see, nobody's saluting. I'm so used to being in the papers. I'm so being used to salutes. Now nobody's saluting. Well, were they saluting him for the individual or were they saluting him for that position of that authority? It was for that position, not for the individual, but he took it for himself. And so that is why when it is not coming, he felt disappointed, disturbed. And this happens in so many, every institute it happens. The most senior most person also suddenly gets too attached. So insult and praise both have to be treated with samatha. That is what Krishna is saying. I had a very nice experience where I got insult and praise within 24 hours. Opposite. Namliji asked me also, which is true. It was very funny because one side I was kicked out. That person actually chased me. I had gone with such a good intention as a, I had gone as a messenger and for the trust. And this person was also an editor of, and he had taken a contract of publishing my articles for the entire year. I went to him and he wanted me to see Krishna in him, and my God, it was such a funny dialogue. And he asked me to go out. While going out, also, I asked, is it Krishna asking me to get out? He got more irritated. It looked like he's going to take a stone or something. He quickly went out, sat down near the nearest, since outside of some, it was on the road only. I sat next to one Tulasi, they call it Vrindavan. No? There, I just tried to calm down. What exactly happened? I traveled all the way to get insulted and I spent so much money on the travel, and just to get this, I was not able to understand. And the very next day, again, I got a very different thing where people have done aarti also. They have put a what they call pagdi also on my head, this har also. I'm just seeing what is going on. Here, this person is kicking me out, and within 24 hours, I'm getting another experience. So I narrated this to my Guruji, and he asked me. So he said, who was correct? Who was right in that was his question. So I also had a good laugh. I said, no, both are right in their perspective, and nobody is also correct in a way. Because I'm neither here nor there. So this aspect, whether we are getting praised or we shouldn't get carried away, because the same people who are praising you tomorrow, if they criticize you, you will get hurt and broken. The same one who said you are the best star, people will say you are the worst person. It happens, isn't it? Many times relatives you are useless. This person has gone astray. For me also, same relatives, interesting, who said I went astray 15 years or 13 years back. They were talking about me being astray and saying, you are on a very good path. This has changed. The opinion of the person changes. It will always change. But you cannot be attached to the opinion of somebody. Because if you get attached, your life experience is going to get disturbed by it. Because these are all what we can say, rainy season, frogs will croak, no? Something like that. Season changes, behavior will change. You cannot allow yourself to be evaluated by others. That is important. Your worth is not on the outside. So, in honor or dishonor, nothing is lost or won. In comfort or sorrow, and in heat and cold, in the opposites of nature, a balance he does hold. So, this devotee is keeping balance at all times. In comfort also, in sorrow also. इन हीट और इन कोल्ड एसी काम नहीं कर रहा है तो आज मैं काम पे नहीं जाऊंगा आई नॉट गो टू वर्क hey work is more important or your comfort is more important it is important to understand what is the duty and dharma all of that we cannot just because it's uncomfortable so I will not some adharma is happening No, it will not be. Today's weather is not so nice, so I will not protest against the wrong happening in my apartment. No, we'll have to rise beyond that. We have to understand. We have to have that balance. We have to have that samatha. So neither in friend or foe, not in honor, not in dishonor, in comfort and hardship. In all opposites also, you are keeping a balance. It is difficult, but I've seen honor and dishonor. What can be the greatest honor for dishonor for a parent? Anybody? Yes, anybody?
When children go in wrong paths, sir.
When children go in wrong path, or when children only say, forget everything that is good, what was done is forgotten, and parents always do something good for their children, isn't it? But then the children, if they suddenly tell you, okay, all the good that you have done, you have only done everything wrong in my life is because of you, you are the source of all trouble. What will happen to somebody who is attached? The person will break, isn't it? Will break because out of love only, parents raise their children with so much efforts, they take so many things, and then when they get this, if it is with attachment, it will break a person. But I saw one parent, he was so calm, so peaceful in the face of most opposite of what we can say. Never ever I would imagine that children can talk like this. It was being said loudly at the face, and the person was, I was like, wow, this is a yogi only. This is definition of yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate, keeping the balance. Because these are forces talking. No, these are not children only talking. Right now, situation is making them. They are under the garb of wrong forces. So it's okay. Let them speak what they want. I am connected with a higher consciousness. I will not let the lower consciousness affect. Because ultimately, can parents be held accountable for their children? Parents have to give sanskara, but afterwards, the child's life is not. People don't arrest parents because your child did like this, isn't it? Law is not like that. No, law is very clear. Well, something similar. We only get attached unnecessarily thinking I am responsible, I am doing that. It's all right. It's all right. You're not supposed to. You have to learn to get detached. Each person has their destiny. They are born with that. So they'll have to walk on their path. So the person keeping balance in opposite moments, that person is considered a great one. He goes on further. Tulya ninda stutir mauni santushto yena kenachit aniketaha sthiramatir Bhaktiman me prayo naraha. In praise or censure, he is poised and peaceful. Again, Krishna is repeating this sloka. He is again talking about something similar. With whatever comes naturally, he remains blissful. Means whatever comes naturally, he is blissful. I think this is the best state in life. If you try to think about my this dream didn't come true, I think we'll all have big essays to write, no? Or maybe multiple series of novels on all the things that didn't come true. Instead, you just focus on what is there, what comes naturally, experience the joy. Just recently, I watched the interview of a Marathi Paralympic gold medalist. Well, his mother died at a very early age. His father met with an accident. Five members of his family died in one accident suddenly. He himself didn't know about the opportunity of this Paralympics. He came to know very late in life. And then in the interviewer is just asking on the face, so how's your father feeling about it? Because the interviewer is so obnoxious that he has not tried to study or do a background check. This person with quiet smile, he says, no, my father left last year. And then he again asks him, but then he did not see you win the gold. What kind of question is that, no? But he is having a balance. He has done sadhana. He is not won gold medal just like that, no? Paralympic gold is so difficult. It is what we can say greatest determination inside of him. So he could smile at the question. He said, but he saw me winning these Asian championship. He was very happy. He was remembering what was good, isn't it? That is important in life. This is something which we must understand. It is always important to see whatever good it is that is coming naturally instead of looking at the wrong. Then comes the last part. When from his own people, things, or home he can detach be, a soul with such devotion and conviction, he is dear to me. This person who is able to get detached from his people, from his things, from his home, such a person with such conviction is dear, is what Krishna is saying. What is Krishna doing? Until now it was okay. अब तो family में आ गए. Krishna is coming in between. Is he? He's saying detached from your own people, from your own things, from your own home. What is he doing? Is he breaking families? A lot of people unnecessarily misunderstand the meaning of detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference, isn't it? Detachment does not mean becoming cold. I had a very nice experience. I think it was this shloka only, in the very first, one of the first batches. Some person was complaining about her sasuma, and we were looking at practical aspects. So she said, my mother-in-law is like this, and she tells me all bad things about me. And you have to become detached. And it was unfortunately on a Friday, so I could not follow up until Monday. And Monday she had a complaint against me only. She said now she started going on the opposite. She says I don't care whether she's alive or dead, and she's now got more irritated with me. I was like, I'm sorry, what happened? What did you do? No, you told me to get detached, so I stopped reacting. So 2 days she was not reacting to everything that was being told to her. Now that is not that is indifference, isn't it? Detachment is different from being indifferent. Your heart is going to beat. A mother will have mamta, no? Will the mother ever lose mamta? No. But that mamatva should not allow the emotions and sentiments to come in between. Sometimes emotions come in between, no? And then you are not able to. A mother does not know sometimes what has to be said because emotions have come in. And if children are there, no, they're sometimes they're very smart. Something like myself also, very useless son that way. Where I would tell my mother, "Kya main itna bura hu, mama?" That song I tell her, she immediately would get sentimental. Now she gets, says, keep quiet. I'm not listening to you. She'll stop me immediately. Because people sometimes misuse our emotions also. So that is why Krishna says very firmly, he says, from your own people also you have to be detached. Why? Then you will be able to see the truth. Then you will be able to even take them ahead. Otherwise, what happens? All those who are attached, one person suffers, everybody else, nobody is practicing social distancing. One person's illness is getting transferred to everybody. Something like that. Keep that barrier. Because if one person is also detached, that person can ensure the entire home, kutumba goes up in a difficult moment also. That is the power of detachment, which is always underestimated. So, from your own people, from your own things and home, it requires a lot of conviction. So, Krishna says that devotee who is able to become detached from the parents, from the friend, from the spouse, from your own people, from your own things also, such a person is dear to me. Can we love in detachment? Last question about this shloka. Yes? Or real love or true love is when it is detached. Isn't it? It's not an expectation. I said I love you, so the person has to repeat it. You didn't say. You have to say, ha, acha, okay, the other person repeat. Is it like that? That it has to be returned? No, it's not something. It's always one directional. The purest love is always one direction. I don't care whether the other person is going to reciprocate or not, because what I feel is what I understand. No? So it is something like that. Divine also like that. It is important. It is important that we become detached. Our own things also, because they become our possession, and we also get possessed by them without our knowledge. My things, this is mine, this is mine. That aham bhava comes in between. You touched my pen, you touched my car, you touched my diary. End of story. Now I'll never talk to you. This is something which we should learn to be free from. So we stop with the next shloka, which is the final shloka, where Krishna ultimately tells us who is the dearest. So far we've seen who is dear, Mad Bhakta Same Priyaha, Sachame Priyaha. Again and again he was Bhaktimanyaha Same Priyaha. Now he says who is dearest. Shloka number 20. So one shloka you practice, you live it, you are dearest. Anybody, can you tell me who is dearest devotee of Krishna? Anybody? Yes. Who is this dearest devotee of Krishna? Anybody knows of the dearest devotee of Krishna? Yes.
who tries to know Krishna
Name,
well.
names. I'm asking for the name, Ji.
Radha.
Narada.
Radha, Narada, Joyji said that, Rajrupa ji
Meera,
said.
Meera ji.
Meera.
Meera, okay. Nobody is saying their own names. I had already told about this previously that a child in
That's
one
right.
children's batch. Yes, yes, he had said that. Who is dearest devotee? Quickly, his response for this was, I am dearest devotee. When is that going to happen? When are we going to become? That is important. Radha, Meera, all of them, they lived their lives, they became there. That's good for them. What about us? When are we going to become like them? So let us also aspire, but let us first see who is that dearest? How is the Swabhava, or how is that person living? Krishna says, Ye tu dharmya, ye tu dharmya mrutamidam yathoktam paryupasate Shraddhadhana mat parama bhaktaste tiva me priyaha. But the dearest of my devotees is he whose supreme aim in life is to love only me. For he emulates my teachings with perfect devotion, and his life is the immortal dharma's exemplification. This is beautiful. Krishna says, dearest of my devotee is who? Whose entire aim, whose supreme aim, aspiration, ambition, everything is to love the divine. Krishna says, other than me, this person is not able to think of anything else. That is the Shraddha, that is the Bhava. Can there be any lower ambition? Yes, everything is lower than this because this is the highest and ultimate ambition one person can have. That is loving the divine. What is your aspiration in life? I want to know the divine by loving the divine. End of story, complete. And Krishna says, what happens then? It's not just a mental thought, kis kavi ki kalpana. No, it's not just a mental thought. It is a practical, living aspect, the lived experience of the sadhak. Because what happens then? Such a person, out of love for the divine, starts practicing the principles of the divine, isn't it? He or she emulates the teachings of the divine with perfect devotion. The Shraddha only becomes the guide for that person. The Shraddha takes the person further ahead. Each and every step, it's like this person is walking and climbing a staircase, and the staircase steps are automatically being laid every time a step is being taken, and that person keeps ascending because the Shraddha is taking that person forward. And that person is emulating every teaching, and his life, her life becomes the immortal dharma's exemplification, meaning they become the example. Such devotees who are living the principles, they become the example. Hasn't Krishna said, Yad Yad Acharati Shresthaha, the best of the best, they become the example for the world to follow. They become Meera, they become Radha. How? By aspiring, by loving the divine with their full heart and soul. And if you want to understand the Shastra, look at their lives. Look at their actions. Look at their karmas, because all fall in sync. So again, this is the secret of the divine. Sri Aurobindo has also beautifully said, to be a servant of God is good. To be a slave is better. What's the difference here then? Slave and servant. Servant also has some rights, no? Some adhikar is there. Slave is complete dasa. So what is this then? Is Krishna making everybody dasas? No, the dasa of Krishna is not the dasa of this Srishti. That is the Raja and Rani of this Srishti. Tulsi Das, Kabir Das. Who are all these dasas? Are they lower people or exalted people? Exalted kings and queens, all of them. That is what Krishna is saying. Tulsi Tulsi sab kahe tulsi ban ki ghas. Ho gayi kripa Prabhu Ram ki ban gaye Tulsi Das. All of them. Yeah, this is the aspect. Because they are no more dasas of desires, no? The one who is a dasa of desire is the dasa of this loka, completely. Asha yaye dasa ste dasaha sarva lokasya Asha yasi dasi tesham dasayate loka. Somebody who has conquered desire has conquered the world, is the king, is the master of this world. Even who was the greatest, you can say Anjaneya also was what? Dasa, no? Of Rama. Manojam Rututulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Va Naryuta Mukyam Sri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadde. So that is what. Yes, Anjuji, we are completing also. This is the shloka. This completes the adhyay. That we become the example. We should live the principles. We want people to read Gita. Na? Sometimes parents want their children to read the Gita. They try to force them. Read the Gita. My own case, I covered my ears when my mother told me to read the Gita. Not now. I don't want it. But you start living the principles, immediately you will understand. For me, of course, mother was living before, only I didn't understand it. I had to learn it from my guru. But you become the example. You become the example. That is what Krishna is saying. And how can you become? Well, with full Shraddha. So this is with this we complete the Adhyay. Anybody wishes to add something, you're welcome. And of course, today the time is also it got extended. 20 shlokas I thought would get over a little earlier, but it got extended. Yes, please. Anybody would like to summarize anything? Yes? Anybody? Okay,
I can go.
Chitraji. Yes,
Yeah.
please. Thank you.
So, yeah, we saw who is the dear to Krishna. So we saw all the characteristics and attributes. One who's calm at all times, and then there's no dvandva or inner fights, and basically a santushta yogi is basically one who has surrendered his mind and intellect, and then who is calm on the inside and he is not affected by the external chaos, nor does he contribute to the external disturbance of the world. And then he's free from pleasure, anger, and fear. Um, and he expects nothing, but he's always pure and perfect in every action he does. And then who's not carrying any worries and no agitation as such. And he doesn't take the ownership of whatever work he undertakes. He just leaves it to the divine, and doesn't see any differentiation between auspiciousness and inauspiciousness, and doesn't grieve, and no desire over material objects. And friends and enemies are also considered it as equal, and basically whatever in both the opposites of nature, whatever exists, there is
Think
a
the balance.
balance. Yeah. And he's contented with whatever comes naturally, and he's detached from people and the surroundings. So we saw that the dearest one is the one who aims to love the divine unconditionally, and to know the divine by loving the divine.
Ji, ji. And such a person becomes the example, isn't it?
Mm.
So that is the dearest. All right. Thank you very much, Chitra. So this is where Bhakti Yoga is not so difficult, it is said, but to practice it, it requires a lot of sincerity. And most important, it requires Shraddha. How will you become calm? When you know divine is there. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam, promise of Krishna. When you feel connected with the promise, then you are free, no? That okay, Krishna will take care. Otherwise, Shraddha is only not on a steady base. Then, yeah, Krishna will take care at that time he will not, sometimes he will. All these thoughts come inside. So let us now conclude. We'll conclude with the Shanti mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण पुनर्मिलामः we'll see tomorrow 13th adhyay after bhakti yoga another practical adhyay will come from Krishna kshetra kshetrajna I am not mistaken yes So with this, we conclude. No queries are there. I'll conclude. Anybody wishes
I have
to?
a question. Sorry, it's
Okay,
already
Yogi
late,
ji.
but I still have question.
नहीं sorry
Uh,
क्यों कहना? Question is welcome जी, most welcome. Yes, please.
I think कि मैं जितना भगवत गीता सुनती हूँ उतना ही ज्यादा कंफ्यूज हो जाती हूँ. Like the more I hear, the more confused I get. It
So
like
Krishna should
I
be
don't
blamed.
know.
Should we?
Not really.
What
Maybe it
is
should be my
or
brain which is so small to be
or
able to
maybe I
understand
am
and
not
hold it.
saying it properly. Could be. I could also be a
No,
source
I'm a
for that.
moodha. That's the problem.
No,
It's
no,
okay.
nobody is Muda. And even this is a very beautiful statement, though, when you said you are Muda. Very nicely, one Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Muda Mate. So that is said, the greatest of the wisest of wise persons have this habit of calling themselves Muda, Johiji. So, yes, but back to your question, what is the confusion, though,
Yeah,
right now?
so actually here we heard that the person who loves Krishna and like that's the only thing that the person wants is the most dearest to Krishna. ठीक है यानी
Ambition,
कि कान्हा को प्यार
aspiration. Yeah, yes.
या लेकिन फिर इस पे एक और ये वाली चीज आती है कि वी हैव आवर धर्म फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम अ स्टूडेंट सो माय धर्म इज टू स्टडी ओके
Okay.
and then you have also given examples of various people who upholded their dharma and then they submitted their actions and even their work to Kana.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
but now I like last week I saw some people and
Hmm.
that's what I think I'm trying to maybe understand or something. So actually
Which
they
people?
have their
Which people?
swadharma.
I didn't
Some
understand the
people,
people.
some Indian people,
Okay. So,
so they have their swadharmas, but still they like to worship their deities and stuff. I don't say it's wrong. Obviously, they connect with Kanha that way.
no,
But
but
now the
now,
question,
yeah, the question is better if I get it. Yes, Chief. Please tell me.
sorry. But now the question is कि फिर तो मतलब कान्हा की भक्ति में ही रम जाओ फिर वही वाली बात हुई कि
Right, right.
बाहर से आक्रमण हुआ तो फिर मैं तो लाइक लिटरली मंदिर में चली गई कि भाई कान्हा बचाएंगे बट कान्हा का भी तो माध्यम चाहिए.
Yeah, because organic chemistry equations are very bad. So, I mean, why should I learn about all these aldehyde reactions, or even especially all these, my God, for me personally, I'm saying instead of preparing for BSc chemistry, I could have just gone doing bhajans, isn't it? If that is what
Yeah,
bhakti is. And Krishna would have
yeah.
magically given me my degree also, no?
If that works,
Isn't
maybe yes, but that doesn't work in this
No,
material
no,
world, and that's what is confusing me
but
now.
is it out of love for Krishna that I'm leaving my work, or is it tamas, or is it out of ignorance? I don't like this.
पता नहीं.
Why? No, no, no. It is out of. Forget your example, which people use, sir, because I have not seen them. I don't know their perspective. I'll not be able to fully understand. But I gave you the very example is out of preference. If I am negating the like now say I personally don't like a subject, but then Krishna tells us to like go beyond likes also, isn't it? What is the dharma? What is the need of
Yes,
the moment?
yeah.
So yeah, then Krishna always tells you to uphold dharma, no, at all times. So it was actually, I remember, I was like, Krishna, what nonsense you're making me do. 11 years I finished, I thought wrote my last exam in 2011. Nearly 8 years later, that too you are making me write a subject which is absolutely not my favorite. So what I did, I would never have. My friends were also teasing me, laughing at me, ki, what is this? You're again going to UG and doing BSc, that too your favorite subject, enjoy nicely. All of that they were saying, why don't you do one more subject? It was all going on. So why did I do it? It was because for Krishna, nonsense thing he is making me do out of love, I am doing it. No. I didn't like it, but it became no because when it's a Krishna dharma, personal dharma becomes all away. But when Krishna dharma is upheld, people have the wrong notion that if I uphold Krishna's dharma, all my other dharmas will collapse. It's not like that. They'll all fall in a place. They're all coming together. If out of
Hmm.
preference or if out of discomfort I leave something, I cannot mask it under the name of devotion. No? Many people prefer to not widen their capacities of cognition because they get satisfied with certain things. say I particularly enjoy a particular bhajan. But if the duty of the moment is that way, Arjuna should have not fought the battle only. No, he could have just sat down and Shri Krishna
Yeah, become a
Govind.
monk.
No, he could have just gone chanting stuti of Krishna. Krishna would have taken part in Mahabharata. No, no, it didn't happen. No,
Uh-huh.
imagine the entire Pandavan army decides to keep all their weapons down. They all hold the tar and chipuri and all of them start. And what they're going to de-vaporize the Kauravan side? No, no. Nowhere is it
Mhm.
told that in bhakti or when you offer to the divine that you're not going to do works. I know of a mechanical engineering professor who is able to see Sundarakand of Ramayana in electroplating, nanoplating.
Yeah.
I mean, how is it possible? Unless that person has brilliant bhakti. Dr. Harshit Dave, you can Google him also. He's got very beautiful publications in mechanical engineering in Springer journals. But he's also a beautiful singer. His singing is also so beautiful that he could have been a professional singer also. But it's all offered to the divine. So then he's able to see the divine everywhere, no? So the next adhyaya is about
Mhm.
that, Junaidi, actually. Kshetra and Kshetrajna. The Kshetrajna's domains. We are limiting the presence of the divine into certain areas which we understand. That should not be the case. That's all.
Okay.
With our bhakti
Okay.
and love, what do we do when out of love? Do we remain incomplete or we try to become more complete? What we don't have, we try to learn, no? We try to become better, no? Does love keep us
Yep.
incomplete or love makes us improve? Love makes us
Mm.
complete, become better, no? Makes us evolve, no?
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
somebody, for someone, I'm doing this. Okay, not for myself, fine. But for someone I love, I'm trying to improve, no? You get better, isn't it?
Yep.
So that is what is meaning of when you're offering to the divine. For Krishna, can I give a burnt chapati? No, I'll have to become a good cook and make the best chapati possible because Krishna is going to taste this. The first bite will go to him. I'll offer it. So
Okay.
automatically I become
Understood.
something. Yeah. So,
Yeah. So are we gonna have chapters on dharma and different sort of ashrams like obviously brahmacharya, grihast, vanaprasth, and sannyas thing also in upcoming
the
chapters?
Chatur Varna is there, but Varnashrama Dharma is not detailedly explained. But about Dharma, Krishna is going to tell you something in the 18th Adhyaya, which I don't want to give a
Reveal
spoiler
now.
right now. Yeah,
Okay, that's
it
fine.
will actually
Uh,
it will make you laugh also in the 18th Adhyaya. When Krishna says he could have said this in the second Adhyaya, full Gita Pravachan could have been avoided. But no, Krishna wanted it, no? It was required
mhm.
for Arjuna to rise to that state of consciousness. If you want, I'll just tell the name of the shloka. It says Sarva Dharman Parityaji. Mamekam Sharanam Braja. कौन से धर्म का कैलकुलेशन कर रहे हो अभी? Forget everything.
ठीक है, फिर I
Forget.
think I'm gonna check it beforehand, though it's a spoiler, it doesn't matter
Yeah,
for me.
yeah, yeah.
Last question for today at
Okay.
least. Uh,
At least.
मतलब ये जो चतुर
Okay. जी.
हाँ, my question is never gonna end till Kanha come
Welcome.
front and say Juhi
अच्छी
stop.
बात है.
That's okay.
Okay. जी.
So
Please tell me.
the question is मतलब ये जो चार वर्ण डिफाइन किए गए हैं सभी को क्या चारों वो करना जरूरी है?
धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष is that or brahmacharya
No, no,
grihastha
no, not that, not
vanprastha.
that, not that. ब्रह्मचर्य, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ and संन्यास, इस चीज की बात कर रही हूँ मैं.
हाँ, this four, no? Brahmacharya grihastha
हाँ.
vanprastha. अब it is up to the individual. It's not everybody. Not everybody, isn't it? Some people really want to live a grihastha life, but they are not able to live at all, no matter what they try. So what will you say? Divine will, no? What else?
Mhm.
Grihastha ashram works for some it doesn't work. What is important is progressing, or if you understand why these four were there. Because at least for somebody that it was created as a ground. Brahmacharya, at least at this time, you are now going to be focusing on what? On getting knowledge,
Studies. Yep.
studies. अब जब पीएचडी लोग करते हैं वो कब तक करते हैं करते ही रहते हैं ना Some people after PhD also, I know somebody who did MPhil again afterwards. I don't know how it's possible, but this person wanted to do that
Mm-hmm.
because that
Uh,
person is a student. But sometimes the best of the best are students throughout their life, isn't it? Dr. Abdul Kalam did
mm-hmm.
not have Grihast ashram. Is he anywhere
No, he
incomplete?
did not have.
He did not have. It's not that he didn't want to have, but he did not.
Yeah, he
But
couldn't have because of many
whatever,
circumstances. So, yeah.
yes. So whatever it is, but that is up to the individual, isn't it? Some people don't have a
Okay.
vanaprastha. Direct sannyasi, young sadhaks suddenly take up sannyas. That is their rule. That does not become a SOP for somebody else, isn't it? But this is for general
Mm-hmm.
society. It was taught because, see, generally, example, a template should be made, no? So you understand each is connected. You are connected with the society also. See, first I will learn, I will acquire knowledge. Then, after acquiring knowledge, I'll have something to pass on. I'll have knowledge to start a family, isn't it? Then I
Mm-hmm.
start a family in the Gruhast. Then my family is now grown. Now is the time I have to now withdraw. I have to learn. So that becomes the Vanaprastha. So when during Vanaprastha stage, what happens is withdrawal is not complete. It is just started, but there is a parting of the knowledge that you have gained. It is the dissemination of knowledge that you have gathered in your life. So that Vanaprastha ashram is there. And then the sannyasa. But then there are some who take sannyasa early. There are some who go into Vanaprastha and they remain in Vanaprastha, continuously parting everything to the divine. I mean, to the people who are seeking. So these are all what we
Then,
can say typal constructs, no, which were made for
नहीं
the
नहीं,
society.
जनरल
General
टेम्पलेट की
evolution
जरूरत
guideline है वो guideline.
नहीं नहीं, गाइडलाइन की जरूरत है, दैट आई अंडरस्टैंड. लेकिन देन
Hmm.
व्हाई सोसाइटी ट्राइज टू बाउंड एवरीवन इन these? There can be exceptions, and there has always been exceptions then.
When has society
And
not
then
when has society not bound people till
इवन
evolution
मीरा को
happened?
भी बांध दिया था. या
People
बट
were unhappy with Krishna also, no? Why is he who is he? He's not even having a beard. He's thinking he's going to give yoga shastra knowledge and all. What is it? Everybody are calling him Yogeshwar. There were so many who didn't like it during Krishna's time also. It's a choice. It's a choice. They tried to bind Mira, but did they bind Mira? No, they did not.
वो बांध नहीं
They could,
पाए. या
yeah, they could not. No. So then, if Mira was going to say, "Oh no, I am living in this time, this society. What to do? I can't do anything," then she would never have reason in consciousness. So these are all outer aspects. Devi. These are all outer
ओके,
aspects.
अंडरस्टूड. या
Yeah.
थैंक यू. हरे
Thank
कृष्ण.
you. Hare Krishna. Okay.